This is a follow-up to last week's tip number 3 that we called the Inside Out Challenge. If you have not seen that, please go watch it and then pop back here to see as we go through answering the questions that came up from the great folks online that have been giving this a go. One of the first questions that we saw was from Daniel, and he asked, what if you're not able to get all of the black buttons off the board? How does that impact your score? So if you end up with, say you're shooting the green buttons and you've got a few green ones left and you manage to not get one of these black ones off, whatever that scores is a negative against your score, just like traditional scoring at the end of a round of Crokinole. So everything that you've got left in your shooters is positive. Everything that's left not knocked off the board of the 8 that started on there counts against your score. One of the next questions that came up, I believe, was asked by Mike online, and he asked, what if it's the other end of the spectrum and you get all the black ones off, but you've still got a couple of shooters left? If that's the case, again, it's just like a regular round of Crokinole with an open board, and you are allowed to shoot for an open 20, or if it gets in the 15, as long as it's a valid shot, then it counts towards your score. So as much as possible, this really does just mirror a regular round of Crokinole. Probably the most common questions that we've seen over the past week are the questions about the challenge itself. As in, if you are to challenge your friend from across town or across the country to this, just like we saw the guys from the Extra Pint Crokinole Club in New York challenge the guys from the Extra Pint Crokinole Club in Texas, and they wanted to know, okay, how does this work exactly, Jeremy? Do you just get one try? Like, do you do a few warm-up rounds, but then you have to count the one? You have to say this is the one that counts, or do you get to do it 3 times and pick your top score? My answer to that is host rules. You decide between you and or maybe whoever issues the challenge is the person who gets to decide. You challenge your buddy Mike from across the country and say, all right, here's the deal. We get 3 tries. Whoever gets the highest score out of our 3 attempts, that is the winner. You get crowned the inside-out champion of this friendly competition that you've thrown the gauntlet down on. So honestly, however you want to challenge your friends and make the rules work for you, as long as you're having fun, playing Crokinole and improving your skills, I think it's fantastic and it's impossible to do it wrong. So have fun, challenge a buddy, and like this was last week's tip, but it doesn't end now. I would love to see this challenge being thrown out next week, next month, next year. Just whenever you feel like it, somebody you haven't chatted with for a while, use this as your excuse to reach out, connect over the greatest game on earth. Make it a great day. Then come back in this tip number 3.1. Way more sense. Let's redo this because, yeah, that was bad. I don't know why it was bad, but it was bad. Yep. I don't like this. Online, and I don't know. Yeah.
That was the end.